30 days ago, my Minecraft builds looked something like this. I sucked. I wondered if it was possible for me to get good at building. So over the past month, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into becoming a master builder. Join me on this journey as I learn to build for the next 30 days. Day 1. To begin my journey, I'm learning build layouts. Most builders seem to agree that you should plan a layout of your build before you start. In the past, I barely put any thought into what I was building, but learning how to plan things out helps so much. Day 3. Yesterday I watched tutorials and learned world edit. So today I'm ready to make my first house. I'm starting small before I try bigger builds. It's really hard for me to choose block palettes, but I think I chose a decent palette. This house took me about an hour and this is how it turned out. I don't think I did too bad for my third day. Day 4 and 5. So I thought of an idea to make a house on the water. This seemed like it would be a good project to practice what I've been learning. I started on the layout, but I kept expanding it as I thought of more ideas. This may have been my downfall because the build started to feel daunting as I worked on it more. You know how I said I was bad at choosing a block palette? Well, I could not seem to make the quartz match well with the dark oak. I'm not sure if this is just a bad block combination or a bad design. I was not happy with how the house was turning out. It was actually getting me a little discouraged. My wife said it looked amazing, but I got big mad and grabbed some TNT and blew this build up. Day 7. Yesterday I just watched tutorials off camera because I was still a little discouraged about my building. I know we're only a week in, but I feel like I haven't really progressed much. I need a change. I need a fresh start. So I set out to make a Wild West town. I searched for a plot of land and found the perfect place to make my new town, Snakeskin Springs. Alright partners, let's giddy up and start with the layout of this town. I wanted to make the centerpiece a church because I love God. I started making the church and I looked at some other Western builds for inspiration. I tried adding some detailing by mixing stripped wood with the birch, and I think it adds a lot to the build. I also added signs and buttons on the exterior for more texture. I'm happy about how this church turned out, and I don't feel as discouraged as I did at the beginning of the day. Day 8. Alright partners, we're building the house of the biggest, baddest cowboy of Snakeskin Springs, Two Gun Tubby. Nobody messes with Two Gun Tubby, not even the sheriff. As I started his house, I did realize one of my weaknesses. When I use other Minecraft builds for references, it kinda kills my creativity. It's like I'm almost copying them without meaning to. So I'm going to try my best to be innovative and not take too much inspiration from other builds. Also, I've watched a lot of tutorials so far off camera. The best tutorial I've watched is this 10-minute video by KD Plays. I'll link it in the description. I think this house turned out pretty good. We're rootin' and tootin' along. Day 12. I've been working on Snakeskin Springs for the past few days, but today I'm building my biggest project so far, our Wild West Saloon. I used this picture as the reference. This was a tough build. I think it was so difficult, mostly because of the unique shape I was trying to make it, but it took a ton of trial and error, and I definitely got frustrated at times. So this is what it ended up looking like. It's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Day 13 and 14. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely bit off more than I can chew with this town. If I were to go all in and keep working on it, we'd be here till day 30. I have to learn different building styles, so I'm forcing myself to wrap this project up. I wanted to at least make it feel complete, so I focused mostly on horse stables since we're in the Wild West. This was honestly really fun, and I got into the lore probably a little too much. But meet Bones, Two Gun Tubby's infamous steed, Augustus. He's not really special at all. Purity. This girl is the preacher's horse, one of the friendliest steeds out there. And this is Midnight, the sheriff's horse, the fastest horse out there and the bravest one too. So this is how Snakeskin Springs turned out. Unfortunately, I did not have time to do the interiors, but I've learned a lot this past week while working on this place, and it'll always be near and dear in my heart. Day 15. I needed to relax a little bit, so I decided to play Build Battle with my friends. Here's a few short clips of how that went.
Derp Cake has... This guy's a non.
I'm a non, bro. I can't afford the ranks, bro. Bro, together. We're gonna have to change whatever you're doing. Yo, this looks horrible, bro. We got 8th place.
I got 6.
Day 16. Trees. We need trees for oxygen. So I figured it's pretty important to learn how to make them. Learning how to build trees is really fun. You can make them in literally any shape and size, and some builders make massive trees. I'm not the best at making them, but I think it's useful to know the basics of landscaping for my future builds. So we're over halfway through the build challenge, but these last 2 weeks will be the hardest. 1, because as I'm improving, I'm trying to do bigger and better builds. And 2, because our final build project for the end of the month is gonna be intense. My wife has been daydreaming about her dream house in real life. Well, I'm a cheapskate, so the best I can do is make her dream house in Minecraft, and I'm going all out for this build, so stay tuned to see her reaction to that. Day 17. Today I start on a house that is now very special to me. You'll see why it's so special soon. I wanted to try a style that I've never done before. I don't know how to explain this style other than mystical wizard house. I also wanted to use a block palette I've never used before, and I wanted to not only focus on the house, but also focus on my environment a little bit. I also figured a wizard house needs a wizard tower to do wizardly things in. I obviously still have a lot to learn as a builder, but I felt like this build was a lot more natural to do compared to my other builds. Also, ignore my Steve skin. One big thing I learned so far as a builder is there will be a lot of trial and error, and that's okay. You can see I had no idea what to do with this side of the house. I still don't know how I feel about it, but whatever. Most of the exterior is complete, and that wraps up day 17. Day 18. I hate interiors. I know that's strong language, but it's true. If there's anyone watching that's good at interior design, please comment some tips and tricks. Also, that creeper was out to get me, bro. I did what I could with the inside and went outside to make a whimsical tree. Not my best work for the tree, but whatever. So next I was gonna make some sort of lazy river. It ended up being, well, I'm not quite sure, but I think it looks cool. Let's call it an axolotl pool. Finally, I wanted to make a dock since I'm surrounded by water. I'm not too proud of the dock, but I think I made it look decent. So this is the finished build, and here's why it's so special to me. It's the first time building that I felt like a true builder. Ideas came naturally, I had a sense for what looked good or bad, and when I finished the build, I just couldn't stop smiling and thinking to myself, wow, I just built that. Day 18 was a great day. Day 19. I hate to say this, but the hype didn't last very long. Do you ever just wake up and feel stuck in the sea of life? I couldn't tell you the reason, but I woke up with zero motivation. I knew I could count on the boys to cheer me up. Bro, help. I'm feeling burnt out from the building challenge. Season said, bro, don't give up. You're so far in. Archer, on the other hand, said, yes, bro, I'm so happy you're finally realizing this. I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news. So the vid isn't impressive? No, bro. It's a goofy idea. Wow. A goofy idea, huh? Archer, you did not want to open up this can of worms, buddy. I'm not gonna let the haters get me down. I think it's time to enter my villain arc. And for my villainous self, I need to make a villain castle. So I say screw motivation. Discipline is a much more powerful force. Day 20. Now that I've planned my malevolence, I'm ready to build my castle. I chose the top of a mountain because that's just the vibe. My biggest goal of this build is to try to put a cool gradient on the castle. If you don't know what that is, it's just slowly transitioning from one color to another. I also decided to make a little house connected to the castle because why not? I'm not sure how I did with the gradient, but I tested so many different blocks until I was satisfied with how it looked. From what I've learned, gradients look better on huge builds, but I don't got time for a huge build. Unless I do a learning to build in 100 days video. Speaking of videos, this is the biggest video project I've ever done. Your support means the world. I have a lot of big videos coming up, so make sure to join my Discord to stay in the loop. Day 21. As I was wrapping up the castle, I knew I needed to do something cool for the top. That's what makes a good castle. I thought the contrast of using black stone with the lighter blocks looked so good, and I used all of my brain power to try to make a super dope design. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now I can plot my revenge against Archer. I'm kidding. Thanks for the inspiration, Archer. I loved how this castle turned out, and it looks so cool at night. Another successful build, and we only have 10 days left. Day 22. If you know anything about me, you'd know that I love food. I've spent a lot of time in restaurants, so I think it's about time to build one. I wanted to make something real classy, so I went with lighter colored blocks and a more modern design. At the start, I was feeling pretty good about this build, but that quickly took a turn for the worst. I haven't done many interiors yet, so that's what I was super nervous about. After I made this weird chandelier, I decided to try to finish this restaurant tomorrow. Day 23. The storm is upon us. I have to try to finish this restaurant, and I just can't stand how it's looking so far. I don't know how to explain it other than it feels like biting into a cold hot dog. I hate to admit this, but I felt like this build was hopeless, so I went for the dynamite again. Sorry, Frederick. This is a really toxic trait of mine, but I'm an all or nothing person. If I don't love what I'm building, then I hate it. Day 24. I took the day to sulk and mourn Frederick. Day 25 and 26. Alright, enough with the theatrics. I do not have time to waste. So I've always loved unique and weird styles, and I had the idea to build an A-frame house. Triangles are pretty cool. This is obviously a winter frozen tundra house, so I did my best to make it snow cabin-esque. Admittedly, I'm just really excited to build my wife's dream house, but I did my best to stay focused on this build. Throughout this challenge, I've come to realize that Pinterest is my best friend. It gives me so much inspiration, and I've learned a lot just from studying other builders' designs. This past month, I've avoided interiors like the plague. I have to man up and learn quickly because my wife's house has to have an amazing interior. So this was my practice. It wasn't so bad once I scrolled through Pinterest, but I still don't think I did great. Nonetheless, this is the finished cabin. It's nothing too special, but my final project is what really matters. And it's gonna take these next 4 days to pull it off. Day 27 to 30. We had been grinding for the past month to prepare for this project. Ladies and gentlemen, we're building my wife's dream house. She sent me some inspiration of what she wants, so I'm building based off of these pictures. What she doesn't know is that I'm gonna secretly record her reaction when she tours her new house for the first time. I tried making the house as big as I could so that I can make it look amazing inside. For this build, I'm actually more focused on the interior than the exterior. Everything looks a little different because I got a special texture pack specifically for this build. While you watch me build, I want to share a few things I've learned this month. Number one is that creativity can be learned. I used to think someone's either creative or they're not, but creativity is a skill that can be strengthened. Number two, if I wasn't making this YouTube video, I would not have stayed dedicated to building every day for a whole month. Making this video is what kept me going. So what does this mean? I think it shows something profound. The more someone cares about something, the more dedicated and disciplined they will be. Someone may like the idea of losing weight and gaining muscle, but if that's not a top priority of theirs, then chances are they're gonna give up in the short term. So find things in life that you truly care about and go all in. And number three, sometimes it's hard to see progress until you zoom out a little bit. There were many days where I felt like I wasn't improving at all, but now looking at all my builds for the past month, I can see from a broader view that I got way better at building than I thought. Living in the moment is great until you're dwelling on negativity. Sometimes it's better to reflect on your long-term progress when you're discouraged about a goal or a dream. But enough of the motivational talk. This is a Minecraft building video. Okay, the best part of the house, my YouTube studio. And what's that? A YouTube play button? Congratulations, Derptercake, for achieving 100,000 subscribers. Guys, this is my goal for the end of 2024. As of right now, we're 7% of the way there. If you press subscribe right now, you're pushing me one step closer to getting my beautiful silver button. Well, I'm pretty much done with the build. I didn't finish all the exterior landscaping that I wanted, but my time is up. Let's see if my wife likes her new house.
It's perfect. I love it.
Right click. Oh, you broke it.
This is the kitchen?
Yep.
I would love that. I love the little paintings.
You do? My self-portrait.
Oh. So true. That looks just like you. Oh, shoot, babe.
That's the main living room.
Oh, shoot. I love it. This is so cool, babe. You did such a good job. I would totally live in that house. You seriously recorded my voice?
So that's it. 30 days of building in Minecraft. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. And make sure to join my Discord. Until next time, peace.